everyone. Welcome to another edition of Southside Speedway Illustrated. I'm Freddie Clark along with Jerry Reed. Yvonne back behind the camera and beardless this week. But anyway, tonight, twin 75-lap features for the late model cars. It's Vermoto's way of shaking up the points battle and giving them a chance to run for the Mid-Atlantic. And, of course, double points on the track level for the first event.
I'm telling you, the Mid-Atlantic points battle with Elliott Sadler and Phil Warren here trying to find W's. They want the win column. That's exactly what they're looking for. And the track points battle means with 28 cars here, also 4 cars are going home.
That's right, a lot of big faces. The big names in late model are here tonight, and it's going to be some great action as far as the Mid-Atlantic region. Also, we're going to have highlights of all the racing action, just the way you like it, and highlights of MASCAR. Last Saturday night, MASCAR ran here at Southside Speedway, and Yvonne and I were in the media race, by the way. You can see highlights of that. All that when we return with this issue. If you have a car, sooner or later you'll need service. Buddy South Auto Parts and Service has been providing quality auto care for over 18 years. Family owned and operated for that special added touch, Buddy South Auto offers all data computer systems to find parts for any make or model. That's Buddy South Auto Parts and Service at the corner of Hall Street and Courthouse Road. Everyone, welcome back to the show. Of course, tonight an important issue on hand. The Mid-Atlantic Chase is on, and plus the local track championship. Now we have Bubba Urban Jr. and Bubba Urban Sr. Bubba Urban Sr. driving Frankie Pennington's car. In case something happens to Bubba in the first race, then he can step in and drive that, keep his chances of a track title alive, plus his hopes for the Mid-Atlantic. Guys, it has to be a lot of planning in this. First of all, when did you get up with Frankie to get the car?
Well, the car belongs to Bubba Chisholm. We talked to him last week and decided to do it.
So you're going to just drive it? You just going to go run one lap and duck it into pits?
Yeah, we're not going to stay out there. These guys have been racing every night, and I'm not going to get out there and get in their way.
Not even if you get a good qualifying run, start up front, and you take off and lead?
No, that ain't going to happen. Trust me, that will not happen. They got too many tough cars, too much competition. If we can just make it feel, we'll be happy. I will anyway.
You will anyway. Now, what about us for you now? It has to be a lot on your mind. You really after the Mid-Atlantic, or you hopes for a track championship possibly?
Well, we're just looking for the best finishes we can get. And right now, Mid-Atlantic Championships out to hunt. We just like to finish in the top 10 would be real nice. The track championship, we got nothing to lose tonight. Franklin and Shane got a little bit of lead on us, so if they have bad luck, the only way we will gain up on them is to have 2 cars in case we have bad luck to counter that. So we'll see.
But the Urbans have come prepared tonight, and they'll be in action a little later on.
Talking to Elliott Sadler tonight, who's involved in the Mid-Atlantic points chase in a big way. He's come to Southside Speedway with the twin 75s. Greg Marlowe at Caraway and Ace is putting the heat on everybody. Elliott, what's your plan for tonight? I know it's going to be a tough one because they got a redraw, I understand, for the second to invert the top 5.
Well, that might help us more than hurt us. It all depends how we do in the first race. Yeah, Phil and I were talking earlier about Greg Marlowe. He's come on strong here lately. He's making everybody hustle up a little bit. We're gonna see if we can get a win or second place tonight. See if we can salvage something like that. And if we can do that kind of work tonight, all of us will be pleased.
Well, twin 75s is a big hit for this track, and of course you've got the track points battle going on here with double points in the first one. That's a lot of cars that may get in the way of your W in the win column.
Well, we're not really worried about the track points. That doesn't concern us. We're just going to try to get a win. We're going to see what we can do, try to be consistent. Just have to get up there and battle with the boys. Bugs and Shane and Franklin all running good in practice, as well as Eddie Johnson. Maybe we can get us a good qualifying run and start up front. Maybe we'll be able to mix it up with them tonight as the race goes on.
I understand Stacy Compton fell prey to the DQ woes, and you also had a set of headers sent down to Daytona to check out?
No, they didn't send a header. They sent his carburetor down there. Our headers didn't go anywhere. They just had a question on how to check the headers. They found out that ours were right, that they checked in the right way. We were fine, but we did get the W. They give us 12 for the year, and maybe we make it 13, maybe 14 tonight.
All right, there's Elliott Sadler in the Mid-Atlantic points battle. He's going after him tonight in the twin 75s at Southside Speedway.
Well, sitting here awful poised and awful confident, Franklin Butler. A lot of new names here. Well, not really new names, but new for this season anyway. Guys going to be making a run and could interfere with the chase for the track championship.
Well, let's hope it doesn't really play a major part in it. You know, hopefully we got the home field advantage here. It's usually awful hard to come into somebody's backyard and expect to beat them, and hopefully that's going to be the case here tonight.
Now, what goes through your mind, because there's several guys out there running for the Mid-Atlantic, and of course you're running for the track championship, so how do you race these guys?
Well, you just got to go out and race hard, and we're going to try to qualify up front and win the race, just like we race every week, and see what happens.
Now, of course, you played it smart like many others. You brought a backup car.
Yeah, we got the backup car here. We don't even want to have to use it, though, but we got it here just in case.
Well, let's go now to Jerry as he sets with the man who'll be driving Franklin's backup ride, the number 5.
Ricky Johnson has got the backup car for the Franklin Butler team tonight as everybody's bringing cars out for the Twin 75, so they'll have something in case something happens in the first 75 lapper. Ricky, I want to ask you right up front, if this car runs real good, are you going to give it back to him?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to.
You come out here and soldier week in and week out with the Chrysler product, but you've got this car. If nothing happens to either car, you can run your own race with this one, can't you?
I would like to think so, but we're gonna save it for Franklin for the second race to make sure he has it. The car feels real good, and I'm comfortable in the car. And when I got back from practice, I told the guys, I said I could get used to this.
So you can get used to this kind of ride, huh?
Yeah, I'm working on my Firebird, and hopefully we'll have that in about 3 weeks, and it should be the same caliber of this car here.
Well, after a rather impressive lap, Shane climbs from the car and tonight brought the backup vehicle as, of course, the Mid-Atlantic Chase is on. And, of course, the track championship isn't settled quite yet.
That's right. We mainly brought it out here for the track championship because we're like 32nd or something like that in the Mid-Atlantic, and really we don't have any contention to win that. But Roy Hendricks is driving the car, and he's helped me out a lot through my career, helped me get started in late models. So we called him, asked him if he'd like to drive, and he said he would. So we're just doing that. We're not out here playing any games or anything like that. For all purposes, we hope we're in this car for both races and don't have to use that other car. This car's been awful good to us, and we want to run this one the rest of the evening and the rest of the year.
Now, he's driving the K9, you driving the K95. Does that mean he got the dog?
No, he got the dog catcher.
Shane Lockhart, let's go now to the man who's going to be driving his backup ride, Roy Hendricks. He's with Jerry.
Yeah, thanks, Freddie. Shane said something about this being the K9 car, but it's quite obvious you didn't get any dog or any kind of a puppy here because right now you're third on the leaderboard.
Well, they were throwing bones at me when I went around the track. I think that's why they didn't let me qualify the first lap. One of them was too big. But, no, I appreciate them giving me the chance to drive the car. Shane called me night before last, and I'd already gone to bed. If I'd known this is what he wanted, I'd have jumped up, but he called me again the next day and asked me if I'd mind doing it. I said, man, I'd be a fool if I didn't,
Yeah.
So, I appreciate the chance, and, I'm going to qualify the car for him and start the race and probably fall out, and then if nothing happen to him in the other car, I'll probably drive in the second race.
All right, well, you got a nickname now. You're Roy Hensley. You've been in so many cars out here right now you can't keep them straight, but this is one of the quickest ones you've been in this year.
I tell you, I felt like Jimmy Hensley this year. Every week is a different car, but they're getting better and better as the time goes on, so maybe I can, drive one of them next year. Who knows?
Why'd you take some reading material with you on that first qualifying run?
Yeah, I heard about that. I thought it was old dog bone.
Well, I tell you, it'll definitely help, like I said, to be in the front. Nothing's going to help us but winning right now, and that's what we're here to do, and hopefully, everything works out that way.
But they also got the invert going for the second race in which a guy who finishes first has got to draw, so they swap them around.
Well, I don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see. I sure would like to win the first one and make the second one a little easier if we didn't win it. But, we're going to do the best we can in both of them and take what we can get and go home and add it up and see what happens.
Well, folks, before we go to a commercial break, let's take you some MASCAR highlights where this guy, Wayne Vaughn, he had a kind of tough one last week, but it's Saturday night action. Wayne, how about that MASCAR series?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but last Saturday night was a doozy. I don't want to do that no more.
And you'll find out what happened to him right now. To claim his third straight pole in the MASCAR Eagle Cup Series. Quickly, the field of 26 entries would go under caution as Wayne Vaughn slammed the turn 4 boilerplate and then got collected by Jeff Sims and Jim Lott. With a call for a complete restart, the field lines back up for green. After a couple of green flag circuits, caution returned again as Kevin Barrett, Charles Cagle, and Eric Evans tried to make it 3 wide in turns 1 and 2. Evans and Cagle would spin. Back to green, and Lawrence Gotti would shoot to the inside of Arnold for the lead, with Jason Ebert coming into the second spot. 10 laps later, Arnold would retake the top spot coming off turn 2. Lanny Pemberton, driving Adrian Stafford's number 07, was starting to work his way to the front, as was Joe Covington after starting at the tail end of the field. Plenty of paint swapping was in order as the drivers wrestled for positions. Some of the contact would look to be a little aggressive, as some cars were sent looping. Arnold would lead over all the close quarters racing behind, but featured plenty of wheel-to-wheel racing. Arnold picks up his 4th straight win, with Covington taking second spot, followed by Johnny Simons, Godsey, and Pemberton. Junie West at AM 910 would draw the pole for the 15-lap media race. Jeff Emmerich, the TV6, in the number 4 car would make contact with Ralph Patterson of WHAP. Patterson would loop the ride, bringing out yellow. With the return of green, it would be West leading over Tommy T of Roundabout Racing. T would get tagged coming off turn 4 and would retire the ride the next lap. West would now lead over yours truly in the number 69 and Yvonne Alzura in the number 43. Alzura would get tapped by Mark Potter in the 00. Yvonne's vision went blurry, much like this picture, as he spun onto the backstretch, bringing out the caution once again. After 1 lap of green, Clark would move to the inside, bypassing West in turn 1 and 2. Clark would then check out on the field. Clark of Southside Speedway Illustrated takes the checker. West takes second, with Potter third, Mark Duro of WHAP fourth, and Yvonne Alzura fifth. Kenneth Buchanan would lead the Champ Card feature to the green. Don Tenney would go out front on lap 2 with side-by-side battles behind. Larry Waltrip would slip into the second spot as the field went 4 wide in turn 1. Andy Farrow would use the outside lane to work his way to the top spot in the closing circuits. Farrow would get shuffled into the pack as Ron Trimmer shot into the lead. But Don Tenney would save the best for last as he led the 3-wide race for second to the checkered. Larry Waltrip would take the runner-up spot over Brian Waltrip.
Hey, now that I have their attention, they're all gone. I don't know where they went. But hey, the Modifieds, the Mid-Atlantic Modified Tour, will be at Langley Speedway next Saturday night, the 26th of August. Come on down and check them out. I'm Mark Potter. I don't know where Jerry Reed is. I just picked up the microphone. Let's check out the highlights.
Tyler McRae would set his new ride on the pole for the mini stock event. McRae's run would be the fastest lap in the minis all season. McRae would leap out front on lap 2, leaving Chris Phelps and Craig Gunn to the chase. Crazy Dave Vaught would get wild on lap 5 as he brought out the yellow for tagging, then field boilerplate. On the return of green, Gunn would shoot to the inside of Phelps for second spot, but misfired in turn 2 and slipped towards the wall, allowing Pam Mays to take third. Gunn would continue to have handling problems as he found himself trying to hold out fourth over Brian Bradley. Up front, it was McRae cruising to the checkered, Phelps second, Mays third, Gunn holding fourth, and Brian Bradley rounding out the top 5. Now a look at your AED point standings in the mini stocks. Lockhart's quest for the Southside Track Championship would put him on the pole for the first 75-lap feature. Outside the front row would set Phil Warren in his quest for the Mid-Atlantic title. Also in the field for the first time in several weeks was Wayne Patterson, back with the Camco Racing's Highland Springs transmission number 14 with a bright new decal job from Custom Graphics. 27 cars would race to the green. Several times the top 2 would rub fenders until Warren would finally get the advantage on lap 3. Johnson would go to work on Lockhart for second and would nearly spin in turns 1 and 2, allowing Butler to close in. On lap 21, Lockhart would get his front fender to the inside of Warren for the lead, but would get the door slammed in his face, stacking up the top 4, which now included Harefield. Harefield was leaving a shower of sparks in the turns as he started to pressure Johnson for third. Warren was now working heavy traffic, allowing Lockhart to again contest for the top spot. And it was still wheel-to-wheel for the third spot between Johnson and Harefield. Warren would hold on to the finish, keeping Lockhart at bay. Johnson held off Harefield for third, and Butler finished off the top 5.
You said you needed to put it in the W column, but you did draw a 4, which means you got to start 4th in the next one.
Well, you know, I'm sure it's going to be a lot harder to pass than it was to lead, but I was fortunate enough to be able to get down in front of Shane, and, you know, I knew that's what I needed to do when the race started because I knew Eddie wasn't going to leave no room for second. He never does. You know, I just kept trying him. We bumped a couple times, but I finally was able to get down in the front, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay or not. He got under me one time, got saved by a lap car, but it seemed like the longer we run, the better we got, really.
Who's Greg Marlowe?
Well, he's the guy we're racing for this championship, him and Elliott Sadler, and, you know, I hope he didn't win tonight. At least we got one back on him.
Well, checking over the tire chart after that run, Eddie Harefield was really putting it on you there, but it was a good, clean run, and you held him off.
Yeah, well, we were forced to be able to hold him off, but there, Ashford, Burger King, Swisher Hygiene, Thunderbird's running pretty good, and we'll change a few things here and see if we can't come back in the second run a little better.
How about the tire rule? Will that have an effect on this second race for you?
I don't really know. It's the same for everybody, about all I can say about it. I don't know what kind of changing their all will do, but I'm not going to change a whole lot.
Rocky Robbins, 3 months away, and then you came back, and now you've got a long arm car for the first time in your late model career. Where'd you finish tonight? Did it feel good to you, or you think you got something for him in the second 75-lapper?
I don't know. We're using these races since we missed so much time. We're basically using them for test runs, trying different stuff, trying to get them to run, get the car to run better. It was real tight on me now. We're going to try to make some adjustments, but I tell you, 3 months off really hurts me, because I was hoping to get all the races in this year, get some experience and some seat time, but I tell you, we got in that bad wreck, and that kept us out for a while. We lost my crew chief the same night. That really hurt us. So we're just at a rebuilding stage. We're starting all over with a brand new car, and it's hard. It's hard. I mean, people, I don't think realize how hard we work, but we work every night. I mean, just trying to get it right, and it's just hard.
All the fans wanted to know how you were doing. That's why we're asking you these questions. They're all happy to see you back out here. How's your dad doing? Is everything okay there?
Yeah, my dad's doing great. He's feeling better. I'm trying to slow him down a little bit, but it's hard. I appreciate the fans. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be running. They're a great bunch of people out here at Southside Speedway, and, I really do appreciate it. I just hope we can start running better for them.
Well, there's no doubt that you will if you get to seat time.
Yeah, we need seat time. We need experience. And right now, we don't have anybody really with a lot of knowledge besides Dave Campbell, and he's got his own car to worry about. So, we got Curly from Roy Hendrick's crew helping us. So we're just trying to put something together, trying to get the car ready for next year. That's basically what we're trying to do.
Well,
we got a great sponsor, Franklin Federal. I got to put them in there because they've been behind us 100%. So.
Next on the grid came the always hard-fighting Charger division with Skelting and Greathouse on the front row. And it wouldn't take long for the caution to fall as cars went sliding on the front and the backstretch. Included in the lap 1 altercation was Tommy Tatum. The crew would go hard at work in the pits to get the car back into action. Kevin Minner, driving in relief of Tony Minner, who was in need of shoulder surgery, would now be moved up to the 3rd starting spot for a complete restart. Minner would shove his way by Skelting on the restart and would have to hold off Balduck and Greathouse. Balduck would work by Greathouse for the 2nd spot and would quickly start to work on the leader. Contact and more contact as Minner shut the door on Balduck in turns 1 and 2, forcing both drivers to work the wheel to save their rides. Balduck would continue to pressure and would finally make the move inside on lap 12, taking the lead in turns 3 and 4. Minner would slip to 3rd and now would feel the heat from Mike Hall. Hall and Minner would make contact, sending Minner into a spin on the backstretch. Under the caution, Tatum and Greathouse would converse about the lap 1 incident. Balduck would lead over the fight for 2nd through 5th, which gave the fans plenty, and I mean plenty, of paint-swapping action. Balduck would take the win, with Tatum taking 2nd at the stripe over Ricky Sanderson, Hall taking 4th. And now we look at your AED point standings in the Charger class. In the Grand Stocks, it was again been there, done that. The Bears everywhere, Morris on the pole. To Green and Chaos in turns 1 and 2. Wayne Clark will get nudged going into turn 2, leaving the number 28 sideways and the racing groove blocked. Alan Marshall will be sent into a complete 360 spin as Bill McGonigal, Robbie Langford, Carl Salvatore, and Larry Bryant stacked up behind. Again, it would be a complete restart. Nearly 2 hours after the mini-stock feature, the tech crews were still under the hood of McRae's ride. But back to the Grand Stocks, and it's Bobby Curtis jumping out front at the green. But Morris would get to the inside coming off turn 4 and race Curtis down the front stretch, through turns 1 and 2, and would get the advantage on the back stretch. Again, turns 1 and 2 became the chaos zone, as the cars of Greg Ferguson, Dave Lingerfeld, Roy Carter Jr., Larry Bryant, and many others blocked the entire racing surface. Morris would now lead John Eversole and Curtis to the green. Eversole would nudge Morris, but couldn't work him out of the groove. Wayne Hicks would loop in turn 4, bringing out the caution on lap 15. Back to green, and again, it's Eversole using the bumper on Morris in his quest for the lead. Beating and shoving the top 2 would start to work traffic. In turns 3 and 4, the leaders would fall in line behind a side-by-side battle for position with Carl Salvatore and Trip Murphy. Morris to the high groove, and Eversole in the low groove, and the fenders wrinkled as they banged their way onto the front stretch. Again, Morris holds the spot with Eversole stopping against the bullet plate in turn 4, bringing out the yellow. Morris holds off Curtis for the final laps with Glenn Jarman 3rd, Lingerfeld 4th, and Bubba Hubbard 5th. Now a look at your AED point standings in the Grand Stocks.
was one of the most exciting Grand Stock races in 12, 14, 16 weeks, or maybe a year. John Eversole gave Billy Morris everything he could handle. Billy, did you think you could hold him off?
Well, I don't really know. I was just trying to drive a clean race. You know, the track was real slick. I was just taking my time, you know. Whatever he decided to do, you know, he could do it, you know.
Johnny, you got something for him for the rest of the year?
I don't know. He looked like he was a little off tonight. He was pushing up a little in the corner. We worked real hard trying to get this car to the front. We were kind of thinking about points, but at this late in the season, I'm not worried about the points. I want to win a race. Billy's won enough. It's somebody else's turn.
With Warren drawing the number 4, Bugs Harefield would inherit the pole for the second 75-lap late model feature. 24 cars would survive the first feature and ready to take the green. Harefield charges out front as Warren spins in turn 2, and Lockhart and Johnson race door-to-door for second. Hendricks would start to pressure Butler for the 4 spot, with Patterson 1 car length behind. The battle for 7th was the hottest action on the track. Chris Dodson and Rusty Wood were in a wheel-to-wheel battle, with Lynn O'Neill and Phil Warren in the lane behind trying to nudge their way into the action. By lap 45, only 15 cars remained of the 27 that started the first feature. Attrition had taken its toll when the pits were filling up. Again on lap 52, the fight for second returned, and again it was Johnson using the outside lane to hold off Lockhart. For 15 circuits, the two would race side by side until Lockhart used the lap car of Rocky Robbins as a pick to take the spot. By now, Harefield would hold a half a straightaway lead that he would carry all the way to the checkered flag. Lockhart holds off Johnson for second, Butler takes 4th, and Patterson made up the top 5. Shane here with his biggest fan.
That's it.
And the new points leader.
Bigger than that.
The new points leader here at Southside. A couple of good runs, not a win, but a consistent second will take the points lead.
I'll tell you, 2 seconds, I feel good about that. The car ran pretty good, and we put a couple points on Franklin, but this thing's a long ways to mow with, and it's going to go down to the end. So
Yeah, we have checked over the last couple months, and the tires that we run 100 laps on, 150 laps on, it still had plenty of rub on it. I think we could have run about 350 laps on it, would have never bothered them.
Well, that wraps up tonight's racing action here at Southside. Here with me, Mark Dura, WHAP, and Mark Potter, the illustrious voice of RIR. 2 guys that were in the media race with me, 2 guys that were chasing me to the end, I should say.
Wait a second, Freddie. First of all, let's make it clear, ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Clark has more experience in these MASCAR automobiles. He says 20 laps. I have proof. I have 6 people that say they saw him out here with Terrell Lewis's number 69 running lap after lap. About 45 minutes. Hey, you started 8th. I think they gave you that spot. They stuck me at 11th. I didn't even get to draw. So who says what here? I was the hard charger.
They started by weight and big mouth. How about you, Mark? Did you have a good time?
I survived the race. I mean, that was on my short list of priorities. I don't know what else there was, really. I didn't spin out. I didn't hit anybody, and I finished in one piece. No thanks to you, Bubba.
Hey, let me
you were gunning for me.
How about old Zero? I know he loves this guy after what he did to him in turns 1 and 2. But anyway, it's MASCAR action. It's a media race. We might even have another one before the year's over with. Maybe
over my dead body.
What happened to Tommy T?
Finished last.
Oh, man.
We were after him. He saw us coming. But anyway.
That's why he hit that car.
Come back with us next week on Southside Speedway Illustrated. More racing action next Friday night here at Southside.
No, admit to yourself. Admit right now. Was I the hard charger?
You were the hard charger.
He admitted it.
And you were the most greased up person because they had to grease him down to get him in the car.
That's right.